But the whole thing, in my opinion, the whole anti-data center thing here in San Angelo, Texas, is an op.
Is it what?
An op. It's a psych op.
Okay.
Richard Summers, who's leading this data center thing, think about this. Here's a guy who comes from New York City, or New York, state of New York. He has a 512 area code. Now, for those who are not in Texas, 512, that's Austin.
Yes.
That's where all the weirdos are. Anyway, he's only lived here, he hadn't lived here many years. Maybe, I don't know how long he's lived here. I mean, months, years, I don't know. Lives in an apartment. I mean, I think the guy was planted here to rile up people. And, the first data center meeting we had was in the Stevens Library in a conference room. And it was this planner who used to work for the city of San Angelo. I can't remember his name, Miller or something like that. But he was kind of leading, he and his wife were kind of leading the deal. And they had a little flyer they're handing out. And everything on the flyer was wrong. It said it was going to use, 1 billion gallons of water, and the noise was going to be so loud, your ears are going to fall off. I mean, it had all these terrible things on this flyer they're handing out. And so everyone wanted to know about it. Of course, they had Michael Looney, he was the VP of Economic Development from the chamber up there, and they had a city councilman help me out with
Patrick Keeley.
Patrick Keeley was up there.
Yeah.
And then it was called at the last minute, and they had the wrong location initially, and we finally found it. And I think Rick Weiss, who's assistant city manager, was there. I think Tom Thompson, the mayor, eventually got there. And we listened to this whole presentation, but it turned into like Looney getting up there and telling us, no big deal. And really isn't that big a deal. But what got me was all the lies about it. And they wouldn't, even when they were shown that they're wrong, they just kept repeating them. And I'm like, what is up with that? And the second thing, you talk about using AI to investigate this. I use Grok, and I wanted to know what the arguments are and how they align with what NGOs, like national NGOs, because there's left-wing non-government organizations, meaning nonprofits, who are funding a lot of this, this campaign against data centers. And why they don't want data centers? I mean, think about who's giving them. It all comes down to who's giving who money. There's suspicion. There's a suspicion that the Chinese are behind it because they don't want us to get ahead on AI. Right. One of the other thing is that I'm just talking about the metadata on the anti-pro AI kind of stuff. The AI, Silicon Valley, all these billionaires that are pushing this AI, they have really a apocalyptic vision. Listen to Elon Musk talk about it. It's going to take away your job. You're not going to have to work. Basically, he's saying in a couple of years, you're going to have no purpose to your life. What is that? What kind of motivation is that? Yeah. I mean, come on, man. Dudes want to work. Women want to marry guys who work, right, and make money. That was a very sexist thing to say, but I'm being very simple about it. I mean, it is in the human spirit to want to do things, to change the world, to make it better, that kind of thing. That's part of you. You don't want to take that away from you. And then so they're saying, then they're going to say you're going to be out of work and you're not going to have to work and no one's going to want your work. I mean, come on, man. That's not a sales pitch for AI. Yeah. We just talked about a lot of things you can do with AI, which made us very productive. But I don't, most people, they want to work. They want to earn their own money. They want to be their own man, that kind of thing.
So that comes back around to the question, and I don't think we've asked it yet, or I've asked it, but will AI replace all of our jobs? And my answer to that is no. I think it will replace many tasks that we do day to day, but it'll just create new opportunities, new types of jobs, new titles, if you will, for what we do day to day.
Well, if you listen to is it Schmidt, the Google, the former head of Google.
Larry?
I can't remember. Not Larry Page. No, it's Greg Schmidt or something like that. Okay. He said that the guys who are going to win in this whole AI thing are the ones that know how to orchestrate AI to make them a lot more productive. So if I can orchestrate, for example, just give my example, if I'm a Drupal developer working on a development team and I can do 10x the work that everyone else can by harnessing Grok to help me, I just became more valuable to the company.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it didn't replace me. It just made me better at my job. And so I was orchestrating AI to help me do it. Same thing with you're working with OpenClaw, and your OpenClaw stuff is allowing you to, schedule more podcasts and research your clients better and research all this, years worth of city council live streams. I mean, it's making you a better journalist, by using it.
You mentioned the podcast. For every one of these that I do, I feed it the information about the guest, the background, and also point to their LinkedIn, their personal web pages if they have them, and it does its own research for me, and it puts together a run of show, speaker notes, guest notes, like I email to you, and I don't have to do all that.
Yeah.
Right. And all I have to do is read through those 5 pages.
So you could do a podcast. Yeah. You can do 2 podcasts a day, where you probably used to take you 3 days to research everything, right? So it makes you a lot more efficient, and so the efficiency and the productivity that goes into our national economy, right? So as people become more efficient, more productive, our GDP grows, that kind of thing. So it's good. I mean, we want productivity, but that's the big thing people are asking on the national scale is what kind of is the productivity gain primarily in the enterprise? Is the productivity worth all the costs we're spending on tokens and that kind of thing? Is it worth it yet? We don't know yet. We'll find out.